Hello, my name's Angelo Amore and welcome to my channel. I'm a poet and spoken word artist, and I produce pieces on addiction, mental health, romance and social issues. And I put together a poem this morning about the tragic events relating to Charlie Kirk's shock passing. It's called Turning Point, and here it is. So if you relate, please subscribe, like, follow and share. This is a turning point for the USA. The stage was set and the crowd was loud, with a voice ringing out speaking strong and proud. But then Charlie Kirk was taken down, and I'm feeling broken inside after what happened yesterday, as it was sad scenes when they carried Charlie Kirk away. So let's take some time to remember him and the message for today, as it's another headline that my mind cannot fathom. An innocent man shot dead on a university campus. Some in the crowd run, while some of them froze, as they watched a 31-year-old taken too early, leaving a wife and 2 kids all alone. His children without a father to guide and protect them as they grow. It's unbelievable how a man can be killed just for the words that he spoke. And it's nearly 24 hours later, and still the killer's name is one nobody knows. His children should have been growing up with their dad. Instead, this is a story that's really, really sad, because now bedtimes will be quiet, and they will question how life can be so bad. As all he done was stand on that stage. And love him or hate him, we all still knew his name. But death don't stop to debate. And I think the world is starting to feel dangerous and strange. But the question is, will America change? Or will they continue to wait? Because it's once again, guns are to blame. It seems again and again, the story is the same. Because he was a popular figure and face, but life don't promise us time nor grace. Today just shows us the destruction that can be caused when you get one person riddled with hate. All it took was one shot to be fired, and now he's dead. One bullet, and you see how he bled. However, I admire him because it's better to speak up and raise your voice than to live with regret. But his life was taken by a person who had no right to shoot him. And that's the real sin, because he was just raising his opinion, having debates while giving others the opportunity to speak their mind and letting the youth see the truth that they could not find. Then one angry soul took all of his time, taking his life in the blink of an eye. And then the day went from standing with curious minds and American flags raised high to fate descending straight from the sky. And a country not knowing what to feel inside. Because even in death, the country is split, and it feels like freedom is distant while America is losing its grip. As it wakes up from taking another hit. Because when words can't win and guns get drawn, democracy bleeds. As Trump gives another sorrow speech from the White House lawn. Now this murdering shooter can run, but he won't be able to hide. And I guarantee that he will pay the price. But let's try and understand why. Because this just wasn't just a crossing of the line. This isn't just news. This is a warning sign that free speech must not be allowed to die. As you didn't have to like him or follow his views. But the killing of an innocent man unfortunately means we all lose. Think about it. How are his kids going to cope being brought up in a fatherless home and realising they are living in a world where we are running out of hope? See, all it takes is for one loud shot and the whole system shakes, setting off another political earthquake. But when anger is the sentiment, it brings more than rage. As the headlines scream, but the truth becomes too deep. When we kill for opinions, I'm telling you, no one will be able to sleep. And if speech ain't safe, then none of us are. And I believe freedom is starting to burn out like a dying star. As this is what happens when people fester rage inside. And Charlie may be gone, but his memory will live on and be kept alive. So the message today is one that free speech must survive. Because if we keep feeding this narrative, then nobody thrives. So this ain't the time to say, I'm red or blue, or take a side. Because as America is cracking, you can almost hear it break. And let's be honest, the gunshots are ringing louder than any claims MAGA makes. As Trump lets the power and rage keep taking centre stage. Now blood's on the floor and the people are afraid. When Americans are born to be proud, but it seems these days they're not safe if they're out in a crowd. So whether you hated his stance or loved his fight, killing a man don't make a wrong right. So now Charlie Kirk's gone and the country's torn. Democracy wounded and free speech is becoming worn. Today's about him, but this is bigger than one. Because when voices get silenced, the damage is already done. When words turn to weapons and bullets decide, dreams burn out and the people divide. Love and hate start to collide, leaving America to bleed, and it's hard to ignore. Because if speech ain't protected, we ain't safe anymore. And when debate turns into guns and blood gets shed, democracy dies as headlines spread. But we all know what this is about. Let's not pretend. Until gun control is tightened, I don't see a day these crimes will ever end. And when words can't win and gunshots get fired, the whole foundation is set on fire. Think about it. It's one voice silenced, but two kids growing up in the echoes of violence. Remember, this isn't about red. This isn't about blue. This is what happens when hate starts to break through. Now the headlines are loud and the message is clear. When people are getting killed for opinions, we all lose here. Because if speech ain't safe, then none of us are. And we're tearing apart the very core of who we are. So Charlie's now gone, but here's what's real. The fight for democracy is a real battlefield. This ain't just lost, this is proof America's starting to crack, as it once again tries to settle after another gun attack. So today as the flags fly low, I wonder how many more families will have to go through this devastating sorrow. So now let's take time to remember Charlie Kirk, a man politically assassinated for just doing his work, a man that left a legacy and become a voice that spoke for the many. As I send love, thoughts and prayers to his family. God bless Charlie Kirk.